welcome to a very special episode of the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. I wanted to talk with you about the anxious avoidant trap and what happens when that dynamic is going on in a relationship. First off, this is a very common dynamic. And since attachment styles and attachment strategies are so fluid, it's important to realize that even a secure relationship with secure attachment could at times be in an anxious avoidant attachment dynamic because we are so fluid and we are changing and we all have access to each of the attachment style strategies, whether that's anxiously attached, avoidantly attached, securely attached, or that fourth type, which is the disorganized type, where you're going back and forth between anxious and avoidant pretty quickly. Anyways, we all have access to all of these ways of being, and it will shift based on what's going on in our relationship, based on our own awareness, based on the internal work that we have done. So let's check in though with this anxiously attached partner and the avoidantly attached partner and why that happens and what it looks like and what can we do to work on it. So first off, I just want to acknowledge that this can be a very painful dynamic because you have two people where intimacy does not feel comfortable for different reasons. And you have the anxiously attached person who is constantly moving towards the relationship and desiring more intimacy. And then you have this avoidantly attached person who is pulling away, AKA pursuer, distancer dynamic, right? What's really fascinating to me about this is at times you can flip. You can have one partner who goes into the anxious attachment strategy, even though typically they're avoidantly attached, right? So, as I've said, we can be in these different attachment strategies based on what is going on. So, what needs to happen in any successful, securely attached, healthy relationship is both individuals need to have comfort with their own emotions, their own experience, and then the ability to show up in the relationship and have comfort with their partner's experiences, emotions, etc. So this ability to be securely attached to yourself and securely attached to another person directly correlates with your ability to say, hey, I can self-soothe my emotions, I can feel comfortable with my emotions, and I can navigate difficult conversations and show up in a relationship, right? That I am going to be okay, that I'm going to maintain my sense of self, that I can maintain the relationship with myself while simultaneously showing up in a relationship with another person. So when we don't have this balance, you have one person who is moving towards intimacy, you have the anxious partner, they're moving towards it. They're having these worst case scenarios go through their head. They're analyzing everything. They're wearing themselves out and potentially even letting go of parts of themselves, right? And then you have the avoidant partner who feels that. And in order to create balance in the relationship to keep it going, right? There's too much energy being put in by the anxious person. So the avoidant person is going to pull back. And both people, as they are doing this, they are matching the paradigms that they have for a relationship. So if I'm anxiously attached, my paradigm is I need to work hard. People may abandon me. I need to ensure that this person is committed. I crave reassurance, right? And then if I'm avoidant, my paradigm is wow, people want too much from me. People can be needy. I need to do what I can to maintain my independence, to make sure that I'm not depending on anyone. Because if I was to depend on somebody, they'll probably let me down or they may not stick around. Notice how at the core of insecure attachment, and you can categorize both anxious and avoidant as insecure attachment because at the core, both people have fear, have insecurity with intimacy, right? So, what needs to happen in this dynamic is as individuals, both people need to learn how to tune inward, tune into themselves, how to self soothe emotional experience, how to regulate emotions. And here's a piece that's really important: how to rewire their brain for love by changing their relationship paradigm and their beliefs about themselves and their beliefs about relationships, which is exactly what we do inside of the ESL program. So if you're ready for that and you need help, I would invite you to apply for that. And then they also need to be able to learn the communication skills to show up in a relationship with confidence and know that you can navigate whatever comes up with confidence and while maintaining secure attachment to your partner. AKA, I can have hard conversations, and that does not mean the relationship is ending. This person is abandoning me. This person won't like me, right? I can show up and have hard conversations, and it's safe to do so. So, what needs to happen is both or one of the people in this dynamic need to do the internal work to start shifting. Here's what I want to say. The beautiful thing about this dynamic: anytime we are changing one partner in the dynamic, we are also impacting the relationship system as a whole. So, by one individual working on themselves, they can also impact the relationship system. And this reminds me of the coursework I did in my doctoral program, learning about systems therapy, whether that's family therapy, romantic relationships. This can even apply in organizations and businesses, but essentially, systems work. We understand that when we change one part, we change the whole. So if you are that anxiously attached person or that avoidantly attached person, and you are one half of that anxious avoidant trap, as I like to call it, that painful dynamic, and you're one half of it, I want you to know that just by you working on you and doing the internal work yourself, you will positively impact the relationship, and you can begin to move it towards secure attachment just by you working on you, because you are going to change the system in a way, and you're also modeling it to your partner. You're modeling new ways of being in the relationship, and the hope is that they will meet you there, that they will see that as an invitation, and they will meet you there in the movement towards secure attachment. So what I really, really, really want you to take away from this is, if you are in that anxious avoidant trap and you find yourself over and over again in those dynamics, that is okay. There is hope for you. you can always move towards secure attachment. And it's really important to know that you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. And I am so passionate about the program that I've built, the community that I've built. It's this amazing community of like minded women who are ready to have great relationships. I always talk about just about anybody can have a relationship. However, not everyone can have a great relationship. It takes that internal work. It takes you learning what you need to learn about yourself and about relationships and letting go of all the old BS, right? So that you can show up and attract that healthy relationship that you deserve. So, this community of women who are in the ESL program, women who have done the program, women who are in our online Facebook group. We have a group called Successful Women, Great Relationships. Yes, you can have it all. They are examples of women who say, okay, I understand. I could have a relationship, and I don't want to have the same kind of relationship I've had in the past. I want to have that conscious, securely attached, intentional, great relationship that adds value to my life instead of subtracts value. And I know each and every one of you listening, male or female, I know that you are deserving of that. You're deserving of that securely attached, intentional relationship. And if this resonated with you, if you are like, yeah, I've been in that anxious avoidant trap and I want to get out, maybe you're in it right now and you're thinking, I value this relationship I'm in, and I know that it can't continue this way. I want to encourage you to apply to the ESL program. About 40% of the women who go through the program are currently in a relationship, and they are doing the work themselves so that they can be the positive catalyst in their relationship for change. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned some pieces about the anxious avoidant dynamic and how to really work on that if that's you, how to take those first steps. And once again, make sure you apply to the ESL program if this resonated with you and you are ready to stop that anxious avoidant dynamic and build that secure relationship you desire. You can apply using the link in my Instagram bio. It's at Dr. Morgan Coaching, or of course, it'll be in the show notes as well. So make sure you do that ASAP. And as always, I'm wishing you high self worth and great relationships. Thanks for listening.